Gopi Jana Vallabha Yashodanandana Brajjana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajjana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari ग्रंथ श्रीमद् भागवतम की श्रील प्रभुपाद जी महाराज की समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयत्मुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। Reading from Canto 2, Chapter 10, titled Srimad Bhagavatam is the answers to all the questions. Verse number 27. Utsirkshoradhatumalam Nirabhidyat Vaigudam Tatha Payastato Mitra Utsarga Bhayashraya Utsisrukshordhatumalam Nirabhidyat Vaigudam Tata Payustato Mitra Utsarga Bhayashraya Utsikshoradhatumalam Nirabhidyat Vaigudam Tata Payastato Mitra Utsarga Ubhayashrayam Ubhayashraya. Mataji's. Ashishprushaha, desiring to go everywhere. Puraha, oh sorry, I'm very sorry. Utsirkshroshaha, desiring to evacuate. Dhatumalam, refuse of eatables. Nirabhityata, became open. Why? Certainly. Gudam, the evacuating hole. Tataha, thereafter. Payuhu, the evacuating sense organ. Tataha, thereafter. Mitraha, the controlling demigod. Utsargaha, the substance evacuated. Ubhaya, both. Ashrayaha, shelter. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Thereafter, when he desired to evacuate the refuse of eatables, the evacuating holes, anus, and the sensory organ thereof developed along with the controlling deity Mitra. The sensory organ and the evacuating substance are both under the shelter of the controlling deity. Purport. Even the matter of evacuating stool, the refuse is controlled, and so how can the living entity claim to be independent? Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yatkripatamaham Vande Sri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Janmadiyasya yatanvayaditaratascharteshva abhignya swarat Tene brahmaradhayadi kavaye Muyanti yata suraya Tejo vari mradam yatha vinimayo Yatra trisargo mrasha Dhamna svena sada nirasta kuhakam Satyam param dhimahi Dharma projita kaitavatra paramo Nirmatsaranam satam Vedyam vastamatra vastu shivadam Tapotrayan moolanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krute Kim va pararishvaraha Sadyo hridaya vridya atra krutibhi Sushushubhistakshanat Nigamakalpataror galitam phalam Shukamukhadam Mritadram Sanyutam Pibata Bhagavatam Rasamalayam Muhuravo Rasika Bhuvi Bhavuka Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadhi Paschati Deshatarine Nityanandamaham Naumi Sarvanandakaram Param Harinama Bradam Devam Avaduta Shiromanim Anandalila Maya Vigrahaya Hemamba Divya Chavisundaraya Tasmai Mahaprem Rasa Pradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So I want to offer my respectful obeisances to all the sadhus and sannyasis assembled here. I wish to seek their blessings before speaking this Srimad Bhagavatam. So before we could actually come to today's verse and today's discussion, I would like to briefly summarize the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. The second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam is called the Cosmic Manifestation. It is the foundational canto that lays out the basic principles of Vaishnava philosophy, including the nature of the God, the soul, and the universe as well. The canto begins with the discussion of the first step in the God realization, which is to understand the Supreme Lord, that it is the only reality, and everything else in this universe is illusion or Maya. The Lord is present in everything, but is also beyond everything. He is the causes of all the causes, and is the ultimate goal of all the spiritual seekers. Second chapter discusses the Lord's presence in the heart of every living being. And the Lord is a Paramatma, super soul, and resides in the hearts of everyone. And He is the witness of all our thoughts and all of actions, sankalpa, vikalpa, everything. And He is the one who gives us the power to act. The third chapter of the canto discusses this canto discusses about the importance of pure devotional service. Pure devotional service is the only way to achieve God realization. It is a selfless act of love and surrender to the Lord. And when we engage in pure devotional service, we are actually uniting with the Lord in our hearts. Fourth chapter, it discusses about the process of creation. The Lord is the creator of the universe, but He does not create the universe out of nothing. He creates the universe out of Himself, and the universe is simply a manifestation of the Lord's energy. Then in the fifth chapter, it is discussed that Lord is the cause of all the causes. The Lord is, and He is the source of all the energy and intelligence. Everything in the universe is actually depending on the Supreme Lord Himself. Sixth chapter is about Purusha Sukta. That describes the Lord as a supreme person, and the Purusha Sukta is very, very important text in our Vaishnava Siddhanta. And the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam provides a very detailed explanation of its meaning. Seventh chapter discusses about the scheduled incarnations of the Lord. The Lord had appeared in many incarnations throughout the history, and He will continue to appear in the future as well. So each incarnation of the Lord has a specific purpose, and they all help to bring people back to the path of God realization. Eighth chapter discusses the questions of King Parikshit. That King Parikshit is a great devotee of the Lord, and he had so many questions. And Shukdev Goswami actually starts answering them in detail from here onwards. And in the ninth chapter, this canto discusses that Srimad Bhagavatam answers all the questions. The Lord is actually answers to all the questions. He is the source of all knowledge and all wisdom. And the Lord also reveals the ultimate truth about the universe and our place in it. And further, in the 10th chapter, the important points, the main points of the canto are summarized. And it emphasizes the importance of pure devotional service and need to understand the nature of the Supreme Lord. So as the chapter's name suggests, Bhagavatam is the answer to all the questions. What it signifies? It signifies that the characteristics of Srimad Bhagavatam and the characteristics of personality of Godhead, Supreme Lord, are both the same. That is, both eternal, both are full of knowledge, and both are full of bliss. Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna Himself. Chaitanya Charitamrita, it states that Srimad Bhagavatam is unlimited. Chaitanya Charitamrita states in Madhya Leela that कृष्ण तुल्य भागवत विभु सर्वाश्रय प्रति श्लोके प्रति अक्षरे नाना अर्थकाय. How is Srimad Bhagavatam? Srimad Bhagavatam is as great as Krishna. The Supreme Lord, just like Supreme Lord is the shelter of everything, so also is Srimad Bhagavatam the shelter of everything. In each, prati shloke, prati akshare, nana arthakai. In each verse, each and every verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, in each and every syllable of Srimad Bhagavatam, there are very Srimad Bhagavatam is as good as Krishna. It's okay? Okay. Hare Krishna. The Srimad Bhagavatam is as good as Krishna. It is non-different from Krishna. Many times devotees, we as devotees, we fail to understand that Krishna and Srimad Bhagavatam are the same. That's why our acharyas, they are helping us understand that prati shloke prati akshare nana arthakaya, and this is every syllable of Srimad Bhagavatam has a lot of meanings in it. Unlimited meanings can be derived. That's why our acharya has written so many commentaries, elaborate commentaries on Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam is as good as Krishna. It is not different from Krishna. Vrindavan Das Thakur, he goes further and he says that Premamaya Bhagavata Sri Krishna Anga Tahate Kahena Yata Gopya Krishna Ranga. What is Thakur Vrindavan Das is saying? He is saying that Bhagavat is Sri Krishna Anga. That means Srimad Bhagavatam is the body of Krishna. Tahate Kahena Yatha Gopya Krishna Ranga. All the confidential sweet pastimes are described here in Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna is Vibhu. Krishna is the Supreme Lord. He is Ananta, he is unlimited. And similarly, Srimad Bhagavatam is also Vibhu, he is also Ananta, it is also unlimited Supreme Lord. Second verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. We recited the Mangalacharan, second verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. It says, Dharma projita kaitavatra paramo nirmatsaranam satam. So, who can understand this? Who can understand what is said in Srimad Bhagavatam? It is the point of our today's discussion. Who can understand what is Bhagavad Dharma Tattva? Who can understand what is this transcendental religious principles? There is general religious principles and there is transcendental religious principles. We need to understand this. Bhagavad Dharma, Sanatan Dharma, Bhakti Dharma, Bhagavad Seva Dharma are different names of this transcendental religious principle or proper religious principles. To serve Krishna and his devotees is a proper religious principle. Apart from this, apart from serving Krishna and apart from serving his devotees, everything else is conditioned dharma. Everything else is improper. It is proper to say that it is an improper religious principle. Only serving Krishna and serving his devotees is a proper religious principle. As we mentioned in the other class as well, that what is Bhagavad Dharma, what is Jaiva Dharma, we need to understand. That occupation of a living entity. Sanatan Dharma means, Sanatan means eternal and Dharma means occupation. That occupation of the living entity which cannot be separated from it. That occupation of ours which cannot be separated from us. What is that? That is devotional service to the Lord. The devotional service to the Lord is a soul's eternal occupational duty, and that is why it is called as Jaiva Dharma, that is also called as Sanatan Dharma, that is also called as Bhagavad Dharma, and that is also called as transcendental religious principles, and that is called as proper religious principle. So Bhagavad Dharma has no contradictions. Conception of your religion, conception of my religion are completely absent from Bhagavad Dharma. Bhagavad Dharma means, what is Bhagavad Dharma? Bhagavad Dharma means following the orders given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshichchami ma socha. God is one, and God is for everyone, and therefore everyone should surrender to the God, and this is the pure conception of religion. Whatever God orders us to do, whatever God orders constitutes religion. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavad pranitam. In Bhagavad Dharma, there is no question of what you believe and what I believe. In Bhagavad Dharma, there is no question of what you believe and what I believe. Everyone must believe what the Supreme Lord says. And we should carry out His orders. Anukulyane Krishna Anushilanam. That is Bhagavad Dharma. Whatever Krishna says, whatever God says, should be directly carried out. That is Dharma, that is religion. Ajamil heard the principles of Bhagavad Dharma. He was on the deathbed. He was on the 88 years old Ajamil. He was about to die. Yamadutas were standing in front of him. They put the Yamapash on his soul, and they're dragging his soul out of the body. But in the meanwhile, while this process was going on, he chanted out the name Narayan. Narayan, my dear son Narayan, please come. And he invited the Vishnu Dutas there. And when Vishnu Dutas came there was a discussion between the Yamadutas and the Vishnu Dutas. Vishnu Dutas inquired from Yamadutas, what is Dharma? You are coming from the abode of Yamrajji, a Mahajan's place. You are from the office of Mahajana's office. So what is Dharma? So they explained the general religious principle. And as per that general religious principle, Ajamil was supposed to be punished. But then, our Vishnudutas were very sad. They are saying that, how is it that the place where Mahajana is there, how is it that you don't know what is Dharma? And then the Vishnudutas explained them the transcendental religious principle. That is, they explained them the Bhagavad Dharma. And they explained them that Ajamil has chanted the holy names of the Lord, and he is actually he is qualified to attend the abode of the Lord. So that's what they explained. And Ajamil heard that on the deathbed. So one can become Krishna conscious anywhere. Even on the deathbed, one can become Krishna conscious. And from the time when one becomes conscious of Krishna, one should become serious on the path of bhakti. One shall not take it cheaply. Khatwang Maharaj also realized it some moments before. He perfected his life. Khatwang Maharaj was he was conscious of Krishna consciousness. But when he went to help the demigods, and he helped them become victorious, they asked, how much time you have? How much time? They asked for a boon. So he asked them, how much time do I have in this life? Oh, they said, as per our calculation, it is very less time. And he said to demigods, can you do a favor on me? I helped you in your mission. So can you help me in my mission? I said, what is that? Without wasting the time zone problem, transfer me to the earthly planet. Because till the time you transfer me, I will lose my time. So they transferred him immediately there, and he sat remembering Krishna. And the Vishnudutas, they came and took Khatwang Maharaj. And all those demigods to whom some moments before Khatwang Maharaj was serving them, he saw them. Those demigods, they saw Khatwang Maharaj going to the abode of the Lord on the airplane. So, whenever one gets conscious of Krishna, about our dharma, about Jaiva dharma, about our dharma, about Bhagavad dharma, one should become serious about it. If one is actually Krishna conscious, he cannot have any enemies. Since his only engagement will be then to induce others in service of the Lord, encourage others to come closer to Krishna, that is devotee's business. So how can he have enemies? So again the question is there, who can understand what is said in the Bhagavatam? Who can understand what is Bhagavad Dharma Tattva and what is this transcendent religious system? The answer is only devotees who are not envious at all. Only devotees who are not envious at all. Vedavyasi said, who can understand Bhagavatam? Paramo nirmatsaranam can understand Bhagavatam. Otherwise, Bhagavatam will never manifest at all. Academically, one cannot understand Bhagavatam. You might be the biggest Sanskrit scholar, but it is not that you can understand Bhagavatam. You might be a greatest, you have a lot of master's degrees, PhDs, but you cannot understand Bhagavatam. Unless one gets a mercy of a sadhu, one gets mercy of Krishna, or Bhagavatam reveals itself. Only then one can understand Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is a person, it's Krishna. And Bhagavatam has to reveal itself to us. Many times devotees ask, what is this? How can Bhagavatam reveal itself? It's a book. It is not just a book, it is a book incarnation of Lord Krishna. And if we want, Bhagavatam can reciprocate with us. Bhagavatam can reveal itself to us. So, this is the most important point. And for this purpose, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, he established the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. This Krishna Consciousness movement aims at creating an atmosphere which is completely free of non-envy. It is not possible that everyone becomes Krishna conscious, but the Hare Krishna movement, this Krishna conscious movement, can create an exemplary society wherein there is no envy. Prabhupada ji created this society and he wanted that all the members should become pure Vaishnavas. So, what is the solution of this envy? This envy is the biggest problem. What is the solution? Solution is given by Narad ji to Dhruva Maharaj. He's saying, Narad ji is saying to Dhruva Maharaj, Guna Dikan Mudam Lipset, Anukroshan Guna Dhamat, Maitrim Samanat Anvishchena Na Tapar Abhibhuyate. Narad Muni is instructing Dhruva Maharaj saying, Dhruva, everyone should act like this. How? When he meets a person more qualified than himself, he should be very pleased. When he meets someone less qualified than himself, then he should become compassionate towards him. When he meets someone equal, he should make friendship with him. And in this way, one is never affected by this threefold miseries of life. This is the secret of life, actually, secret of happy life. This secret can be applied anywhere. Narad Muni's solutions, you can apply it anywhere, any situation. Yeah. And one will be happy. Generally, what do we find? Generally, we find that when we find someone more qualified than ourselves, we become envious of him. Brajsundar Das, I will not say about others, at least my situation is like that. When we find someone less qualified, we deride him. And when we find someone who is equal, we become proud of our activities and we glorify ourselves. The great sage Narada is therefore requesting us that a devotee should act perfectly well. We are representing Krishna. We should behave the way Krishna wants, by becoming a friend of everyone. Instead of being envious of a more qualified person, why not we accept that ability in that person is because of Krishna? And why not we accept that person joyfully in our life? And that solves our first problem. Then, when we see someone who is less qualified, just new in the moment, but has some potency to do a lot of services, but what do? We suppress him, we compress him, we make him depressed. So Narad Muni is saying, one should be compassionate towards him and help him raise to the standard where one can come. And when one meets someone equal, what should one do? One should not be proud of one's activities, and one should treat others as a friend. So by doing these three things, one can become free from the problem of envy. Naradji is saying this. So, by such behavior, there is no miseries at all in our life. This world will be, imagine this, if this situation is there, everybody is dealing like this, so this world will turn into a Vaikuntha. At least our world will turn into Vaikuntha if we deal with other devotees in this way. There will be no enviousness. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. This is enviousness. Matsarya is one of our biggest enemies. So, only such personalities, they can understand Bhagavatam. Now we need to understand, if one dives deeper, and to the deepest region of the ocean, what will one get? One will get invaluable jewels. Right? If one go in the ocean. So, one of the synonym of ocean is Ratnakar or Ratnagarbha. In the deepest region of the ocean, you will find a lot of invaluable jewels. But who can collect them? Only one who dives very deep in it. One who goes inside. There are very few who are experts in diving inside the ocean, and only they can get the jewels, gems. If one floats on the surface, what will happen? One will only catch fish. If one goes inside, in the deepest in the ocean, one will get gem. Bhagavatam is unlimited. And one has to dive deep into it. Srila Prabhupada, His Divine Graces, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ji, he said, everything is in my books. I have given everything. There is nothing that I have not given. Writing a commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam, it's a big thing. To discuss and churn those purports, we have this Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Everyday Bhagavatam classes are being discussed. Srila Prabhupada's Bhaktivedanta purports are very unique. Vaishnava philosophy is not an easy philosophy to describe. It is a very subtle, it is very sublime philosophy, very difficult philosophy. And Prabhupada explained it very nicely in a very easy language for us to understand. Very easy language. Prabhupada ji was an empowered personality. Otherwise, it is very difficult that one can write such purports. With every shloka there are so much, every shloka there are purports, so much understand, so many various angles, with various angles he has explained a purport, so that we can discuss it. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada, he also explained the Vaishnava philosophy, but it is very difficult to understand his language. His language is so difficult that we cannot enter into it. So this Vaishnava philosophy is a very difficult philosophy, because this Vaishnava philosophy has a very specific language. So, but Srila Prabhupada ji, because he was an empowered person, he could explain that it in very easy language. Many times English language has no equivalent words. It's very difficult to find words which are equivalent to Sanskrit. So sometimes Prabhupada ji has many places he kept the words as it is, because there is no equivalent in English language. Actually Prabhupada ji, he delivered the English language. My Guru Maharaj says that Srila Prabhupada, he actually delivered the English language by writing commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam in English. Yes, otherwise it is not a respectable language in the scholarly world of the Vaishnavas. But Prabhupada ji, it brought the English language also in it, because he wrote the Bhagavatam's commentary in it. So Bhagavatam, it carries a very unique message. It has all the Shastras, they instruct us to do Bhagavad Bhajan. All the Shastras, they're saying, do Bhagavad Bhajan, do Bhagavad Bhajan, do Bhagavad Bhajan. But Bhagavatam says something different. Bhagavatam says, hey, Jivatma, you have no, this is Kali Yuga going on, you have no ability to do Bhagavad Bhajan. You have no qualification. You have no qualification to call Krishna. So what is Bhagavatam saying? Bhagavatam is saying that open your ears and listen to me. The sadhus have come, the sadhus are speaking from Bhagavatam. Just open your ears and hear Bhagavatam. That is Srimad Bhagavatam, that is the message of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krute Kimva Paririshvaraha Sadhyavrade Avrudyatra Krutibi Sushrush Bhisnakshanat. Simply by mere desire to hear the Srimad Bhagavatam, mere desire, even if you not heard, you have a desire to hear Bhagavatam. By that mere desire, that Krishna is ready to get bound up by that devotee. So what has to be said when we absorb ourselves in Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam? So, that's why the mission of Bhagavatam and the mission of Krishna is the same. Krishna comes here to attract the conditioned souls towards him. So Bhagavatam also has the same mission. It's attracting everyone towards Krishna, And who helps them? Sadhus, the devotees of the Lord. They broadcast the glories of Krishna from the Bhagavatam, Krishna's name, fame, pastimes from the Bhagavatam. They broadcast the glories. And the conditioned souls, they hear that glories and they become devotees. Simple process. How to broadcast the glories, how to make others devotees? Simple process. This, we need to understand how the science of preaching works. Who helps a person from... we are talking about Krishna consciousness, but from within, the Lord helps that living entity to understand what has been said from outside by a devotee. We are speaking about Krishna, we do Krishna Katha, but from within, the Lord helps that devotee to understand what has been said. In this way, the devotee and the Krishna both help a person to become devotees. This is a science. We need to understand. That's why it is very important that we as devotees, we broadcast the glories of Krishna as it is, without compromising. Sometimes when we are distributing books, I have seen personally that they give out the book and they don't say that what is in the book. There's something, they just want to sell the book. Our goal is not to sell the book. Because we say something and when they go home, they read the book that is not there in it. And they feel cheated. So when we are giving out a Bhagavad Gita or we give out any book, we should say what is there in the book as it is. We think that how will they understand Krishna? When we are getting an opportunity to broadcast the glories of the Lord, His name, His fame, His pastimes, we should do that as our acharyas have done, as Bhaktivedanta Swami has showed us, Srila Prabhupada has showed us. When he went to the West, when he came here to the Western world, what did he do? He simply did Sankirtan. And he started speaking about Krishna's name, his activities from Bhagavad Gita, from Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. In the first year itself of the movement, he spoke from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And what happened? By hearing from Prabhupada ji, by eating prasadam, their all hearts were transformed. And they became so much devoted that those devotees, they spread the movement all over the world. And today, our generation is getting the fruits of the result of Srila Prabhupada's disciples. The hard work which they did, we are getting it. We are actually not doing that hard work, frankly speaking. The amount of hard work which Prabhupada ji and his disciples took for spreading this movement all over the globe, we are not putting such efforts. We have to put those efforts. More and more efforts need to be put in that direction, where we should also contribute selflessly. The process is very simple. But we as devotees, we need to have faith in it. As devotees, we need to study Bhagavatam and we need to keep faith. And we should have faith and devotion in whatever has been heard, whatever has been read. And then we should broadcast it without reservation. We have reservations about broadcasting it also. People in the world, they want to know about Krishna. But we are not convinced. Devotees are not convinced. That's why we speak of yoga, we speak of Ayurveda, we speak of this, that, everything else but Krishna. I have personally experienced. I was being told to not speak about Krishna on a Vyasasana. Why? Because there were new devotees in the audience. So even though there are new devotees in the audience, what is the problem? They are here to hear about Krishna. So we should speak about Krishna boldly and fearlessly. The message is so powerful. Krishna's name, Krishna's fame, Krishna's pastimes are very powerful. Bhagavan ki kirti aur yash mein bahut shakti hai. It's very powerful that it can attract the conditioned souls and make them into premi bhaktas. It is so powerful. Hare Krishna devotees should have this unflinching faith in the Bhagavatam, in the glories of the Lord, and broadcast it. This is the message of Bhagavatam. This is the message which Bhaktivedanta Swami has given to all of us. This is what has been said in Bhagavatam. So thank you so much. Please forgive me if I have crossed my limits. You all are highly elevated personalities. I'm a grahastha, I'm a householder, I'm a very conditioned person. Please forgive me if I have crossed my limits. Hare Krishna. Okay. Prabhu raised the hands first.
Thank you for the very elaborate introduction. This verse is very intricate, very unusual. Can you elaborate on this verse?
Probably tomorrow, Prabhuji will explain this verse in detail. I cannot apply my mind now in this verse. Huh?
It's very hard to keep attention. We are not all new people here. Anyway, sorry for that.
Hare Krishna.
I was expecting, because it's very unusual verse.
Yes. Any other questions? You have a question?
Thank you for a wonderful class, Brajsundar. Appreciate it. Nice to hear someone speaking like that. You mentioned that Bhagavatam is non-different from Krishna. So some people think then, and you said that it will reveal itself to you. I was appreciating the other day we were talking. Some people think that just I'll read the book and I'll get everything.
Mm-hmm.
What's the relationship between the book Bhagavad and the person Bhagavad? Could you elaborate?
Yes, Srimad Bhagavatam is not just a book. We discussed this. It's not just a book. And through our intellectual capacity, if we want to understand Bhagavatam, it will never reveal itself. There are so many deep things in Bhagavatam. Srila Prabhupada ji has simplified it. Very nicely simplified it. Still, many times devotees have differentiation that English purport and shloka are different. They're not, purports are not Bhagavatam. No. The purports are also Bhagavatam. What is Bhagavatam? Whatever coming out from the lips of a devotee whose heart is attached to Krishna is Bhagavatam. So even the English purport, these are as equal, as glorious as what Shukadeva Goswami spoke to Maharaj Parikshit. So Bhaktivedanta purports are equally glorious, the same. We need to understand this first. And then when we have this understanding that Bhagavatam and Krishna are not different, and we want to go deeper into it, when we are in a prayerful mood, when we have no envy against everyone, we are very prayerful, and we are hankering for it to understand Bhagavatam. And then we are putting conscious effort in reading every day, hearing every day, reading every day. Not for just 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or before Bhagavatam, only while giving the Bhagavatam classes, I will study. No. Every day, it's a conscious effort needs to be put on everyday basis. And gradually, as Srimad Bhagavatam sees our sincere endeavors in understanding it, it will start revealing itself. But provided we need the mercy of sadhus, we need the mercy of Vaishnavas to understand Bhagavatam. Without the mercy of the Vaishnavas, one cannot enter into Bhagavatam. That's why Bhagavatam has to be studied under the guidance of a Vaishnava. So, and then as we study Bhagavatam, we are actually associating with Prahlad Maharaj. We are actually associating with Dhruv Maharaj, Shukadeva Goswami directly. They are speaking to us. And when we are seriously making a conscious effort of reading every day, hearing every day, speaking about it every day, Bhagavatam, Krishna is there in our heart, and Bhagavatam is there, it will also start reciprocating. How will it reciprocate? By revealing the hidden things, hidden meanings. It will reveal. Everything is there in front of us, but there is a covering. But if you are a sincere student, then Bhagavatam will start revealing it to us. You might not be a Sanskrit expert. Dhruv Maharaj, Krishna touched, Lord touched Dhruv Maharaj's cheeks and with counsel, and everything was revealed to him. He started glorifying Krishna in choicest of the verses. Same is with Bhagavatam. If Bhagavatam wants, even the writings of the Acharya which are in Sanskrit, even that can be revealed. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you so much. And once again, I wish to beg forgiveness. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Samaveta Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ji Maharaj ki. I have some books. If devotees want to buy them, my personal book, Taking Shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam. I'm standing outside. If they want it, you can have it.